Good day, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of Cooking with Chef Aaron. This time, we'll be setting foot in Africa for the third time as we explore the country of Egypt. Now, this country was kindly requested to me by Matt Roy Tower. Once again, thank you for your request. I'd like to give a big shout out to you, and I hope to receive more requests from some of my other viewers and subscribers sometime soon. So, for those of you who are big fans of the show, you might have remembered in episode 3, I said that Eritrea was my second favorite African country. Well, guess what? In this episode, we are going to be exploring my number 1 favorite African country. Alright, so before I officially begin my critique of this country, I just thought I'd mention something real quick. Yes, Egypt is in fact located in the continent of Africa. A lot of people think that Egypt is separate from Africa, where Africa is something else and then Egypt is part of like another continent. Some people kind of assume that it's in Asia. I remember when I was younger and I didn't know much about geography or countries, I assumed that Egypt was in Asia, but I'm here to tell you right now that it's an African country. So, without further ado, let's begin my review of Egypt. Okay, so when you hear someone say Egypt, the first things that are likely to pop into your head are sphinxes, pyramids, and camels. Now, while Egypt does have these types of things, I'm here to tell you right now that this is not all of what Egypt consists of. In this review, I'm also going to be tackling some of Egypt's major cities such as Cairo and Alexandria, and I'm going to be talking about the pyramids and sphinxes and the other landmarks as well. So, let's begin. Alright, so Cairo, which is the largest and capital city of Egypt, is a pretty interesting city in my opinion. I really like the architecture a lot. In fact, here's a picture of the Sultan Hassan Mosque, which is one of Cairo's most famous tourist attractions, according to my research. And I think it looks very elegant. Even though it's not in the countryside, it still looks very sandy, which looks pretty cool in my opinion. And here's a picture of the inside of the mosque, and even here it's shown as being like very rich in design, and that's what I've got to say about it. Okay, so this next photo I'm about to show you is an example of what I like to refer to as being the Egypt they never show you on television. And as you can see in this photo, you can see that there's some vegetation. I know that when you watch cartoons or the news or whatever kind of media you're exposed to, they only show you the countryside of Egypt, like the rural parts, like where there's like sand and pyramids, like I mentioned earlier, but they never show you anything like Egypt's palm trees or Egypt's like vegetation. As you can see, there's a lot of like sort of exotic palm trees alongside this nice looking cathedral right here. Alright, so the next place I'm going to talk about is Alexandria, which is the second largest city in Egypt. Now, as you can see in this photo right here, you can see an ancient old building along with a bunch of exotic palm trees. And also, in this other picture, I have a downtown photo of Alexandria, and as you can see, there's a lot of colorful architecture. There's also some exotic palm trees. And once again, this is another example of what I like to say is the Egypt they never show you on television. Because, let's be honest, when we watch cartoons that were made like about 30 to 50 years ago, did we ever see Egypt exposed in this manner? Okay, so to wrap up this review, I thought I'd talk about the Great Pyramids of Giza and compare them to the Nubian pyramids in Meroe, North Sudan. Correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the way I'm going to pronounce it is Meroe. Okay, so both of these pyramids look very nice. Just a fun fact, the Meroe pyramids are actually just 250 kilometers northeast of North Sudan's capital city, which is Khartoum. And so it's a 4-hour drive to get there. And the pyramids on the right-hand side look very nice. The only thing that's different about them from the Giza pyramids is that they're harder in texture, and the Giza pyramids are just sort of more sandy. They're kind of look more fragile on the left-hand side. But I really like them a lot. I really like pyramids, the pyramids of Egypt in particular. And we don't really get a lot of exposure to the Sudanese pyramids. Most of us don't really know that Sudan has pyramids because Sudan is not really a country we're exposed to a lot in the media. Okay, so overall, I would say that I would probably have to give the country of Egypt an A. Okay, so with that said and done, let's head down to my kitchen, and I'll show you how to make the Musacaa. Follow me, please. Okay, so in order to make the Egyptian Musacaa, the ingredients you will need are as follows. We have some eggplant that has been cut to 1-inch circles, and I'm going to garnish it with some oil and some salt. I'm going to sprinkle it with some salt. And so that's going to be for putting them in the oven. And for the cooking process, the ingredients I have are a large red onion that's been chopped, a green bell pepper which has been chopped, and in this bowl I have mixed together a teaspoon of cayenne, 1 tablespoon of pepper, and 1 tablespoon of salt. And we have 2.5 cups of tomato sauce. Those are all the ingredients for the cooking process. And over here I have 2 onions which have been cut to a julienne, and we have some tomatoes which have been cut to 1-inch circles. Now these tomatoes and these onions are going to be used for the layering process, which I'll explain later in this demonstration. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your oil, you want to grab your brush and take some oil, and you just want to simply garnish these eggplants with a little bit of oil all around, so like this. Just want to kind of paint them with a little bit of oil. Make sure they're all evenly coated. Three more to go. And I'll just get this one in the corner. And afterwards you want to take some salt and you just want to sprinkle it all around for each one so that each one gets a little bit of salt. And you just gotta continue doing this until all the eggplants have been coated with salt. And don't those look nice? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these in the oven in a 350 degrees preheated oven, and I'm going to cook them for 10 minutes, and you want to make sure you turn them halfway through. Okay, so while our eggplants are in the oven, the first thing you want to do is you want to grab your small onions which have been chopped. You just want to place them in here, and we're just going to cook them until they turn brown. They change color. Okay, so now that our red onions have changed color, what you want to do now is you want to take your green pepper, and you just want to add it like this. So now I'm just going to stir this all around so that's all nice and combined. And we just want to let these cook for a couple minutes, and afterwards we'll add our seasonings. Okay, so after you've had your green pepper in for a couple minutes, what you want to do now is you want to take your mixture of salt, pepper, and cayenne. You want to pour it in. You just want to mix it all around and make sure it's all evenly coated. So I'm just going to mix this all around. And it just has to sit for a few more minutes before we add the tomato sauce. So after a couple minutes, what you want to do now is you want to take your tomato sauce and you want to add it all to the mixture like this. Now I'm just going to mix it all around to make sure it's all evenly coated once again. And we just gotta let this sit for 10 minutes. So after you've had your tomato sauce cook for 10 minutes, what you want to do is you want to take 3/4 of the sauce out and set aside. And there's a reason why we do this. It's because we want to start layering the eggplants along with our julienne onions and our circle tomatoes, and we're just going to layer them over the tomato sauce, and then we'll put another layer over those eggplants, onions, and tomatoes, and then we just keep on layering until we're all out of sauce and eggplants and tomatoes and onions. To begin the layering process, what you want to do is you want to take some eggplant, just want to put it inside the pan of the tomato sauce we have remaining. So this should be good for the first layer. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my julienne onions and I'm going to sprinkle it all around so it has a nice layer. That should be good. And now I'm going to take my tomatoes. I'm just going to put like a little layer on top like that. That should be good. And now I'm going to take my sauce. And I'm just going to grab a ladle of it and then spread it all over here like this. Make sure it's evenly coated. That should be good. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to get another eggplant, some more eggplant. So here's one, here's another, and here's another, and maybe one more. And now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to grab my julienne onions and I'm just going to layer it over like this. And the tomatoes again. And afterwards you want to get a little ladle of tomato sauce and drizzle it all over the eggplants, and you just want to keep repeating the order until you're all out of the toppings. So once your layering process is complete, it should look something like this. And afterwards, once this is all cooked, I'll do a taste test and I'll tell you what I think of it. Okay, so let's see how our recipe is doing. Oh, that looks very delicious, doesn't it? So, okay, so now it's taste time. I'm going to take a tomato and an eggplant and I'll tell you what I think of it. Okay, so let's see what I think of this. Alright, let's see what I think of this. This is very delicious. It's very spicy, but it's good. I like it a lot. Alright, and here's our finished product served on our plate. Served with some regular rice. Thank you for watching.